I love storms so much. I love the rain. Like I just think that it's so peaceful, like that, like the tatters of the water hitting the floor and or the windows and whatever. Like when I'm inside and it's just a massive storm, like all the water, just seeing it pile up outside. I mean, it's probably not good because like a lot of people get their homes flooded and stuff like that. But I just love like those big storms with the lightning, because it just feels like nature is so powerful, and that's like I get to see like a glimpse of like its fury and wrath. That's like my perception of like a storm and like the rain. But yeah, I always like, I feel like my blood pressure and my heart rate just like lower so much when it starts raining, because I just feel calm and I feel like, I guess, comfortable, safe, and cozy, because like nature is protecting me by like storming everything outside while I'm safe inside. Um, and a lot of people don't have that luxury, which is sad, because some people don't have proper homes to keep them safe from storms. But I guess that's at least how I perceive storms for me. It's like another person's perspective on a storm, an event. It could seem like something novel, something amazing, something refreshing. But like another person's perception of that same event would be nightmarish and terrifying, um, and I guess like traumatic. So that's an interesting thing to think about, because how you perceive the world is different from how others perceive the world. I know, a little bit crazy. And maybe I'm just like that. I can think of those things. No, no. Uh, I'm I'm just 3 minutes left. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's you're probably perceiving this time as going by really, really slowly. And I'm also perceiving it going really, really slowly. So it's like interesting that we have that like that commonality, that thinking style. And we're gonna talk about commonality in the next thing. You'll it's not that's not the word, but you'll hear the word um, in the next one. But oh, I'm clicking a pen, by the way, if you hear that. Um, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, halfway done with this one. Wow. But there's just definitely a lot of differences in how we perceive things, and I think that's interesting because, like, when you read a book, um, or I guess when you hear this, like the images in your mind that are populating your brain, and like you're thinking of like if I describe like a table, we all have a different image of like a table with a flower pot on top of it, and like we could paint the walls of the room around us, and we could say like this room is massive, or and massive would be different, different perception, different thought in somebody else's mind, than your own mind, because we have different perceptions of what massive and tiny and small and blue and red is. So like those perceptions make each book completely different for each person. Each video, I guess, is slightly different, because the words that I'm saying all have different meanings to each person. Because like if I say perception, one person could just interpret that as, or perceive that as, something being like the psychological thing, where it's like, oh, they're perceiving senses and interpreting them and processing them. Another person could be like, perception is like the lens of how we view, or like it's philosophical, something like that. I probably have been getting philosophical, so I probably shouldn't mock the philosophy. But yeah, I guess maybe a question that is like, how do you perceive these videos? Do you perceive them as something like, um, I guess, do you perceive them as tragic? Do you perceive them as lonely? Do you perceive them as successful? Do you perceive them as a waste of time? Do you perceive them as unbalanced? Do you perceive them as weak or strong? Do you perceive them as nightmares or dreams? Do you perceive them at all? Do you even watch them? Do you sense them? Do you feel like they're gonna leave a legacy, or do you think they're just not gonna leave anything behind? Do you feel like they have hope?